with specific targets, with specific obligations. The parties were the construction sector, social housing organization, the energy sector, but also branch organization of contractors and service providers. And it was signed by 2 ministries as well. And basically it was a voluntary agreement in cooperation to try to achieve these certain ambitious energy efficient targets. Of course, this is a typical way of working. It has also its risks, of course, because you need, if it doesn't work, you need to introduce regulation at the end of the day. But this is maybe also a good way for Serbia to go ahead, to involve market parties, because you need them when you want to achieve something. Number 5. If you talk about energy efficiency in housing, if you look at a situation where 95 or 98% of the houses are privatized, homeowners are by far the largest and most important stakeholder. And we tend to forget that. And homeowners are not an easy group to work with, because there are so many, they have their own opinions, and we've learned that in Holland the hard way. So when you need to talk to your target group when you draft policies. One thing I've observed, of course, in Serbia is that the level of organization within condominiums, the so-called housing assemblies, is very low. Legislation seems to be fine. Legislation seems to be fine, but the level of organization is low. This is not only a problem for energy efficiency, it's a problem because homeowners are not able to talk to government, to talk to municipality, to talk to the contractors if you're not organized within your building. That is a very important thing that needs to be changed. And one type of organization that can play a role in that is intermediate organization, national federations of homeowners. We have those in Holland, and they play also an important role in disseminating information on energy efficiency to their members. I did not find any organization, NGO, working with homeowners in Serbia. Maybe I missed it, but I think such an organization would be key to make sure the message reached the homeowners. Number 6, you can have general information campaign, awareness raising campaigns that target homeowners for specific technologies, for the benefits of energy efficiency. But we noticed in Holland, we had it in Holland as well, and then there's then one contractor coming, or one service provider, or one installer, and says, oh no, that's not a good idea. And then the effect is gone. And this sector, the installers, they tend to be very conservative. And they tend not to follow the latest technology. Well, maybe 5 years behind. That implies, as we do in Holland, that your campaign, your awareness raising, your training should also directly target those organizations who have direct contacts with homeowners, who meet them personally, and who need to promote the new technologies and also show the homeowners the benefits they can achieve. Obviously, whatever policy, you need to be able to measure the effect. What is your current performance, and what performance have you achieved after some years when you have implemented your policy? And obviously that's something we have worked in the Netherlands on since a long time, and something that needs to be done in Serbia as well. This graph shows the energy efficiency indicators for heating and electricity use for large appliances on average in a household. And if you look at the top graph that has decreases the most with the square points, this is space heating in terms of average fuel demand per square meter. And you have seen since 1990, the index is, the index has gone, so it's about 100%, 110%, 120%. So it has about reduced by a factor or 2 over this time. By measures insulating dwellings, windows, cavity wall insulation, roof insulation, as well as introducing efficient boilers, condensing boilers, because we mostly heat by gas. So this is about, I think, the kind of reduction you also can achieve in Serbia. But you need to measure. You need to measure where you are now, and you need to continually monitor the progress. I rather like this graph. One problem with Dutch policy we have is it has been in energy efficiency and renewal energy stop and go. So you have one government introducing a subsidy scheme, and it's after half a year the money is gone and it is stopped again. And then 2 years nothing, and then a new scheme, or new policy, or new incentive scheme, different. You need to introduce and secure market certainty. Market parties who need to invest or develop new business on the basis of the policy need to be sure that the policy is still in place in 2 years' time. And that has been a problem in Holland. There have been too many changes in approaches, in schemes, in subsidy schemes over the years. So that's something you need to avoid, if possible. Policymakers and politicians are not very good at assessing effectiveness of their policy. Policies and the choice of policy instruments are often driven by other motives. But it is very important, if you look at the wide range of policy measures that are available, to look beforehand how effective is that going to be. Is it the right moment to introduce this subsidy scheme? Is it the right place? Do we use the right organizations? Is it the right combination of measures? And if you look at experiences in these regions, and you look at grant and subsidy schemes, often they are not very effective. Because of the conditions, because of the way it's marketed. So this is very important to look beforehand at the effectiveness of your measures. And here there is a role of the research communities, the universities. They can provide policymakers with simple tools and methods to assess this effectiveness. And they have a role to play in the evaluation of policies. Because evaluation is just as important, and often policymakers are a bit reluctant to evaluate, because sometimes the conclusion is that it is not working. So there, the research community and the media have an important role to play to identify those measures which are not working. Number 10, and last one, maybe the most important one and the most difficult one, energy efficiency is not a policy subject on its own. It needs to be integrated in other different policy fields. And that has taken in the Netherlands about 15 years, I think. And now we are more or less that the energy efficiency in all relevant other policy fields is considered. So that's a process which is slow and needs to start in Serbia, is started, of course, in Serbia at the moment. But that is very important, that it's an integral part, not an add-on in other policy fields, but an integrated part in other policy fields. And these are only a few where energy efficiency plays a role. There are more. So these are 10 practical best practices and lessons learned. Much more can be said on this, and we will. Just to finalize, I would like to draw your attention to the seminar we are going to organize in September within this government-to-government program. It will be dedicated to energy efficiency in housing under the umbrella of sustainable development. Tentative date is September 15th, and I hope to see you all then again. Thank you very much.